Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. So tonight I'm doing something different. I am going to attempt to do something that I've never done before. I am going to try to fix 10 freezer meals tonight, and I don't want it to take forever. I'm hoping that I can do it in about 2 hours. So we are entering Derek's busy season for work, so he's basically gone like from sun up to sundown, which means I'm on my own with the kids. So I just feel like I want to be prepared. So I thought the best way to do that was by prepping some meals, because mealtime is always the busiest time. It's like trying to wrangle kids and trying to cook food, and that's usually when Derek's here helping me, but he won't be here. So I've tried to pick meals that have either beef or chicken, which I know that's kind of lame, but I did that so that I could cook everything in bulk faster. So like I'm going to brown up all of the meat, and I've got a bunch of chicken boiling. I also have some over here that I'm going to like kind of saute up a little bit more. So hopefully it's not boring that we'll just have those two types of meals. I do think we'll eat other food besides these 10 meals straight, but I just want to have things on hand, easy, ready to use. Here we go, let's get cooking. All right, so I wanted to show you one of the little things I like to do when I do freezer meals. So first of all, on anything that I can, you obviously write on. So this is the one for the Italian creamy chicken, and I put the date so that sometimes things get lost in there, or I've made other freezer meals. Obviously you wanna use the oldest things first. So that's why it's always important to date the bag. So some of these things you'll have to add noodles to, or add sour cream when you cook it. Make sure you write all of that on the bag so that when you pull it out, you're just like, oh, I need sour cream. Oh, I need noodles. So this one says, serve over noodles or rice. So that as soon as I pull this one out, I know the other thing that I'll need to prep to go along with this meal. So this is the first one that I'm gonna do. It is super easy. All it is 3 chicken breasts, 1 block of cream cheese, 1 can of cream of chicken soup, and 1 package of Italian seasoning. Okay, so the reason why I chose this recipe to do first is because I'm doing this one with 3 frozen chicken breasts, and I just barely finished browning up the hamburger, and the chicken just finished boiling. So I was just hurrying and doing this one really quick while that other meat cooked. So then I'm kind of being able to multitask while one thing finishes up. So that's why I'm doing this one first. This is my only meal that I'm actually using already frozen chicken breasts. This is just a funny story while I do this. My sister-in-law that lives in Texas always jokes that Utah people cook every meal with cream of crap, and that's what she's saying is cream of chicken soup. And she's kind of right. In a lot of these meals, I'm gonna be using cream of chicken soup. Now, I think it's good, she doesn't love it, so I do think that it's funny, you don't realize like your taste and the food that you like is totally just dependent upon what you're used to. So this is a lot of meals with cream of chicken soup. Chicken, cream of chicken, cream cheese, Italian seasoning, here we go. All right, 1 down. I love that meal because the cleanup is easy too. Literally, there's no pans. Everything goes straight into the garbage, which is really nice because we're gonna have a lot of other pans on some of the other ones. So 1 meal down, 9 to go. All right, the next meal I'm going to make is taco soup. So usually when I make this soup, I use a big thing of tomato juice, okay? But because I'm freezing this and things automatically tend to get a little bit more watery, I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm actually gonna use a couple cans of tomato sauce, and then when I defrost it, I'm just gonna add a few cups of water depending on how much it seems like it needs. This is a super easy recipe. You just need browned hamburger, taco seasoning, whatever you wanna use as the juice. So like I said, I'm using the tomato sauce, a can of black beans, a can of corn, and I also, this is optional, but I also like to add diced tomatoes, and then like a cup of salsa. This is one of my family's favorite recipes, and even if you're not doing it as a freezer meal, it cooks up really fast. All right, there you have it. Taco soup meal number 2. All right, so the recipe I'm moving to is a taco lasagna. So with the rest of the meat, the ground beef that I have left, I'm just adding a little bit of taco seasoning and some water and letting that simmer into it, because this is gonna be one of the layers of the lasagna. The first thing I do is put a little bit of sour cream in the bottom of my pan. Now I just get these disposable pans like at the dollar store or at your grocery store, but I just usually stock up on them so I have them in my pantry ready to go. And I also wanted to throw in that all of the ingredients for these 10 meals was $100. It actually was a little bit less, but I had a few things at home. If you did have to buy all the meat, you'd be right around $100. So think about that. 10 meals for $100. That means it's only $10 a meal, but divide that by how many people in your family. That's basically about $2 per meal, which is a really good deal. Back to the taco lasagna. So I like to put a little sour cream on the bottom of the plate just so that when you put the first layer of tortilla down, that it doesn't burn when it cooks. So that kind of gives it a little bit of cushion that way, because if you just put it straight down, that bottom tortilla gets really crispy and crunchy. So this kind of helps with that. So I just do a little layer of sour cream, and then I'm going to start layering my food. So for the layers, you're gonna want taco meat, cheese. I'm gonna add some black beans. I know some people add corn into it. You really can do whatever you want. You can't mess it up. And then you also add salsa. Then the day that you eat it, you can put sour cream on top, diced tomatoes, onions, whatever. But so for me today, I'm just going to do taco meat, salsa, black beans, and cheese. Okay, so I have a thin layer of hamburger. Now I'm just gonna do a thin layer of beans, thin layer of cheese, a thin layer of salsa, just like that. And I think I am just gonna do a little bit more sour cream on there. Okay, so I just rub the spoon across the top of that to get it evenly. And now I'm going to do another layer. So you're just gonna do a few layers just like that, and then this one will be done. All right, so this one is done. For the top layer, I just did another tortilla with a little bit of sour cream, salsa, and then I topped it with cheese. All right, this taco lasagna is all ready. This one I'm actually really excited about. I love this meal. It's really yummy. The next two meals that I'm going to make are gonna use the boiled chicken that I cooked. In order to do that, I need to cut up this chicken. So that is my next job. All right, the chicken is all chopped up, ready to go. And I'm gonna be making Poppyseed chicken, which is one of my family's favorite recipes, and chicken enchiladas. Both of those are really great. They freeze really well. I wanted to tell you though, usually if I have time and plan ahead when I'm prepping my chicken, I like to cook it in the crock pot, and instead of putting water in with your chicken, put chicken broth in it. That way, as it's cooking and getting soft before you shred it or cut it up, it's absorbing all that flavor and it makes it really, really yummy. I didn't do that today because I didn't have time, but if you ever want to have just like really flavorful chicken, replace the water with chicken broth. Okay, so for Poppyseed chicken, you need a can of cream of chicken soup, and you need sour cream and chicken. That's like the base. And then you mix those together, and then you put them in your pan, and then you top it with the Ritz cracker recipe. Okay, so the recipe actually calls for just 2 cups of chicken, 1 can of cream of chicken soup, and 1.5 cups of sour cream. Let me double check. Yeah, 1.5 cups of sour cream. But I like to do a little bit more, and I like it to be creamy because I usually serve this over rice. So I have a little bit more chicken, so I'm gonna do 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, and then I just kind of eyeball the sour cream. This is one thing about me in recipes, is I'm not a good follower. Things that I cook often, I just kind of figure out, adapt it a little bit to the way we like to eat it and to my family's taste. So this is, if you are an exact recipe follower, you might not like these, because I just kind of like throw it in and it usually turns out. That's what I'm doing here right now. So I'm gonna add those up in, and then we'll just put them straight in. We'll put that mixture straight into one of our pans. And then, like I said, I'll top it with the Ritz cracker recipe, and I'll share. I do follow the recipe for that a little bit more closely. So when I'm mixing that up, I'll show it to you. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to crush the Ritz crackers. So you need to do like 1 full package and then like a third. So you can see I took out like a third of this one to make enough of the Ritz crackers to go on top. You could do like 1.5 too. So after that, you need to add 2 tablespoons of minced onion and 1 tablespoon of poppy seeds. Then you add 1 cube or a 1/2 cup of melted butter. So I just put all this stuff in there, and I put the cube of butter on top, and I stick it in the microwave. And then once it's melted, I stir it up and sprinkle it on top. So I do it really easy. I try to use as little pans as I can, or extra bowls. So I don't stick this in and melt it in one bowl and then pour it on top in another bowl. It doesn't seem to affect the other food to just put it all in together. That is all mixed up and on. Look at this delicious Poppyseed chicken. I cannot wait to eat this one. Okay, this one's done. Okay, so this next recipe I have a funny story about it. So the recipe is Sloppy Joe's or Manwich. When I was growing up, I liked Sloppy Joe's, but I was like embarrassed of it. I thought it was like the weirdest food ever. So if ever I had friends over and my mom said we were making Sloppy Joe's, I'd be like, oh no. But now it's like honestly one of my comfort foods. It reminds me of growing up and my kids love it. The recipe's kind of weird, but it's really easy. So all it is, so ground beef, 1 can of chicken gumbo, and then the rest is just a bunch of ketchup and mustard. So it kind of gets like an orangey color, but I'm gonna mix it up so you can see it, and then you just serve it on a bun with some cheese, nice and warm and gooey, and it's always delicious. So that's the next recipe. All right, back to our sloppy joes. Now I have my can of chicken gumbo soup. You just get this in the regular soup section. All right, so you just pour it in and then you add ketchup. Is that disgusting or what? I promise it tastes good. All right, then mix that in and add a little bit of mustard and then mix that in. All right, so this is what it looks like when it's mixed up. I honestly do probably 1/4 as much mustard as I do ketchup. It has a lot more ketchup and that's kind of what gives it the sauce base. But then I'll just put this in the bag and then the day that we eat it, we'll just reheat it and serve it on buns. All right, we are halfway through. I've got 5 meals down and it's been an hour and a half. So I was hoping to be done in 2 hours, but I don't think I'm gonna be, but I'm still gonna hurry and try to get as much done as I can, as quick as I can. So the next meal, the chicken enchiladas, actually one thing I like about it is you can do it all in the same bowl as the Poppyseed chicken because the base ingredient is the same. So it's just the chicken with the sour cream and the cream of chicken soup. So I'm just gonna reuse this bowl. I'm not even gonna wash it in between. And I'm gonna mix that up, same thing as before, and then I'll roll that into the tortillas. But I am gonna add one more ingredient, the diced green chilies, because this is what's gonna give it a little bit more of a spicy flavor. Got all the tortillas in now, and I'm gonna top it with some cream of chicken soup, cheese, and olives. All right, the enchiladas are done. Okay, the next meal is potato soup. It's another one of those just dump in the bag ones, so this is a good one. So you need a big bag of cubed potatoes, a package of cubed ham, vegetable broth. Anyways, it's a very simple recipe, and you just pour it in. All right, the potato soup is done. So the day you serve the potato soup, you just add a cup of whipping cream and cheese, and you're good to go. Okay, the next recipe is lasagna. It's just called lazy lasagna because it goes in the crock pot and you use regular noodles, not fancy lasagna noodles, but this one's really easy. You use the hamburger, whatever noodles you like, cottage cheese, mozzarella cheese, crushed tomatoes, some seasoning, put it in your bag, and then you throw it right into the crock pot, and it's really just a yummy, warm meal. Okay, I only have 2 meals left, and I'm definitely feeling ready to be done. Okay, so the next one is chicken noodle soup. I'm probably gonna do 2 cans of chicken broth, a box of noodles, some celery, and some carrots, just like as much as you want. I have my chicken that is raw that I chopped up that I will add to the bag. And that's about it that I'll do for that one. I just thought of something. Now, I'm not positive, but I think now looking back on the recipe, I was supposed to leave the noodles out of this one and just add it the day that it cooks. So, oops. This chicken noodle soup, I am going to do that. I'm gonna leave the noodles out, and then I'll just add the noodles in at the end, maybe like the last 30 minutes before we're ready to eat. All right, the chicken noodle soup is done, and I will just add the noodles for the last 30 minutes especially because the chicken is not cooked in this one. It'll need to be in the crock pot for a long time. So you definitely don't wanna add the noodles to this one. I'm hoping with the lasagna one that because everything is cooked in it, it really won't need to be in the crock pot for like 4 hours, right? It just needs to be in there or your stovetop for, until the noodles are soft. So I'm hoping that they won't, the flavors will all blend together. Okay, so the last one that I'm making is white chicken chili. And now you guys know this is one of our family's favorite recipes, and I've actually never done this one as a freezer meal. So I'm kind of guessing. Now one thing though is just like with the noodles, I'm not going to add the beans. I do have the beans, but I'm not gonna add them because the Great Northern beans that you use in white chicken chili are a really soft bean, so I don't want them to get overcooked when you have to put this in the crock pot. So I'm just gonna put the chicken broth, like all the ingredients that you would normally do, the green chilies, and we'll just add the beans and then the sour cream and whipping cream when we're about to serve it. Yay, I did it, I'm done. Whew, it took me just over 2 hours. It's about 2.5 hours right now. Let's see, we've got white chicken chili, chicken noodle soup, lazy lasagna, potato soup, Poppyseed chicken, sloppy joes, taco lasagna, taco soup, enchiladas, and Italian creamy chicken. All right, you guys, so now I just have dishes to do, but really, that's so awesome feeling like I've got 10 meals ready. A few of these meals do need a couple things added on the days that I cook them, so I'll still need to plan that morning to make sure I have those things that I need, but this is a huge relief and it's gonna help me a lot over the next couple weeks. But thanks for hanging out with me today. If you guys like videos like this, let me know and I can try to do some more things. I can let you know how all of these meals cook up, if my family likes them, if they worked as a freezer meal, and otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.